Imagine signing $1 million contract with a vendor, only to find out later that your product is completely inaccessible. Sound like a nightmare, right? What if I told you there's a secret document that can expose these issues before they become your problem? Stick around because today we are uncovering the mystery behind VPATs and why they are more than just another bureaucratic document. Ever wondered how companies claim they are VCAG conformant? Do they really follow accessibility standards? Or is it just a clever wording? This is where VPAT comes in, a document to decipher their accessibility claims. But here's the catch. Not all VPATs are telling you the true story. Think of it like a nutrition label on a product. Just because something says organic doesn't mean it's 100% healthy. Similarly, a VPAT can list compliance levels, but you must know how to read between the lines. So, what exactly should be looking for? Let's break it down. A VPAT, also known as Voluntary Product Accessibility Template, sounds fancy, but it's essentially a report card for accessibility. It includes product details, accessibility standards, conformance levels, and any additional documentation providing accessibility claims. A VPAT with all these ingredients is called an Accessibility Conformance Report, or ACR. People often use VPAT and ACR as synonyms. But here's the real question. Who actually creates these VPATs? And can you trust them? Before we dive into the next section, I want to take a moment to appreciate some amazing viewers who took the time to comment on my previous videos. Harsh Verma, your suggestion to include JAWS in action was spot on. Thanks for sharing your thoughts. James, your support means the world. Thanks for commenting. And RD, thank you for asking for EAA resources. Want a shout out in the next video? Drop a comment below, or ask a question, or share your favorite takeaway from this video. Now, coming back to the topic. Not all VPATs are created equal. Some are meticulously reviewed by accessibility experts, while others, let's just say, are filled with hopeful guesses. So, who's the right person to create a VPAT? It's an accessibility expert with IAP certification, especially WAS or Web Accessibility Specialist, which require an in-depth understanding of how to audit a website and generate a VPAT. And secondly, third-party vendors who specialize in auditing and creating VPATs. Pro tip, never trust a VPAT generated by someone with no accessibility background. And then there are red flags. What happens when a VPAT is missing key sections, or contradicts user experience, or is overly vague? That's where things get risky. A bad VPAT can be worse than no VPAT. Here are the top 5 warning signs. A vendor refuses to provide a VPAT or has never heard about a VPAT. A huge red flag. Too many not supported or partially supported sections with no clear plan to fix them. Claims of supports but real-world testing shows major barriers. Missing sections. If they look incomplete, they probably are. And lastly, generic statements like mostly compliance with no specifics. If it's vague, it's hiding something. If you see these signs, you are dealing with a potential accessibility disaster. But don't worry, there are ways to address these issues before it's too late. Ever wondered what makes a VPAT more than just a checklist? Behind every accessibility conformance report is a structured framework that reveals how well a product meets accessibility standards. But what exactly goes into this report? Let's break it down. To begin with, we have report title. Every VPAT must begin with a title, such as company name, accessibility conformance report. Name of the product or version. The name of the product and its version must be included. At number 3, we have reporting date. The report date might seem formal, but why is it crucial? A VPAT from 2016 might not reflect the latest accessibility updates. So, always check report date. If it's outdated, ask for the updated VPAT. At number 4, we have product description. A brief product description is a must. At 5, we have contact information. A VPAT should include follow-up contact info such as an email ID of the point of contact. Then we have evaluation methods. How was accessibility tested? Was automated tools, manual audits, and any other user testing were done before generating the VPAT? If this section is vague, be very skeptical. Next, we have applicable standards or guidelines. The report must list which standard it follows. Was it VCAG 2.0, 2.1, or 2.2? If other guidelines are included, the correct VPAT edition must be used. Then we have terms. The report must list the definition of the terms used in the conformance level. IDI recommends the following terms. Supports. The functionality of the product has at least one method that meets the criteria without known defects or meets the equivalent facilitation. Partially supports. Some functionality of the product does not meet the criteria. Does not support. The majority of the product functionality does not meet the criteria. And lastly, not applicable. The criteria is not relevant to the product. And finally, we have the table of truth. VPATs use tables to show compliance levels. But a closer look at these tables can reveal gaps, inconsistencies, and even misleading claims. So, you have got a VPAT from a vendor. Now what? Here's how you can evaluate for accuracy and make recommendations. Cross-check it with real-world testing. Don't just take their word for it. Test each success criteria on their actual application to confirm. There's no other way to double-check their claims. You need to invest time in this. And if there are issues, get commitments from the vendor to fix those issues before signing contracts. Make sure accessibility compliance is written into your agreements. And finally, get a fresh VPAT after the vendor remediated the issues with the third-party audit vendor for an unbiased review. Understanding these elements ensure you don't just read a VPAT, you analyze it. Next time you review one, look beyond the surface. What's missing? What is unclear? And that's where the real story lies. With that, let's have a look at the VPAT 2.5 VCAG, the latest version as of November 2023. You can download the template from this website. I'll put the link in the description. Now, this is the sample VPAT that I downloaded from the website that I just showed you. In this document, you will find all the help needed for a first timer to create a VPAT. In this table, you will find what VPAT is, what are the VCAG additions, and how to get started. As we scroll down, we see under the VCAG additions, they have what each VPAT must have, like name of the product, report date, product description, everything that we have covered in this video so far. As we scroll down, they are outlining what this report is all about. You have to specify which version of VCAG you are working on for this VPAT. They also have essential requirements for you as an author, right? Again, repeating the same thing like what a report must have. Let's scroll down and see what else they have in this. They also have what are the best practices for you as an author. Talking about how to brand your header. If there are any changes, you have to report the date it was changed or when the report was revised by you. What evaluation methods are being used, like you have to specify everything, which screen reader you used, which browser you tested on, and any remarks or any explanations that you have for a specific success criteria. and then you have your legal disclaimers and report size. Now from page 9 is where your actual VPAT begins. You have to ensure that everything is removed prior to this page. That is only for you to understand on how to create a VPAT. That's for your help only. Do not, I'm saying it again, do not include anything from page 1 through page 8. Begin your VPAT from page 9. This is where you have to provide your company name, followed by name of the product or version, report date when this VPAT was generated, the product description, a brief description about your product, who is the primary point of contact. It could be the product owner or someone who is entitled to respond to external queries. What were the evaluation methods used and which accessibility standard or guideline you followed. Scrolling down, this is where you have to make this adjustment. You have to replace X with the version that you are testing with. I always recommend going with WCAG 2.2, the latest WCAG guidelines. And this is the source of truth or the table of truth that we were talking about in our video. For each success criteria, you have to say whether it supports, partially supports, does not support, or not applicable. And if you're saying it is partially supports, then you have to enter your remarks explaining which sections of the pages or which different pages are excluded for this success criteria. Now, as you can see, this table has been divided into a couple of sections. Success criteria level A, and it has all the success criteria listed here. Then you have success criteria level AA, and you have success criteria pertaining to level AA in the scenario. This is actually useful to better understand the success criteria depending upon the different levels that they are supporting. And level AAA, I know this has been listed. However, most successful organizations only target level A and level AA. So you have to get rid of this table in case you're not compliant with level AAA. And finally, we have legal disclaimers. If you want to provide any legal statement from your company, this is the place where you have to add it. Remember, VPAT is not just pass or fail certificate. It's a tool to guide your decision making. If used right, it can save you from accessibility lawsuits and, more importantly, make your digital product usable for everyone. Before you trust a vendor's accessibility claims, ask for their VPAT. Analyze it, challenge it, because in the end, accessibility isn't about compliance, it's about people. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe for more web accessibility insights, and drop a comment. Have you ever encountered a suspicious VPAT? Let's discuss in our comments. This is Param Singh, signing off.